Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit.
Former MotoGP rider Danilo Petrucci has made some surprising comments about Marc Marquez's increasingly consistent and extraordinary performance this season. In a recent interview, Petrucci said that Marquez seems to be back in world champion mode, with his trademark aggressive yet controlled racing style. According to Petrucci, Marquez has shown significant evolution, both physically and in terms of racing strategy. After all the injuries and tough times with Honda, many doubted whether Marc could return to his former self. But this year, he has silenced all those doubts, said Petrucci. Petrucci also highlighted Marquez's quick adaptation to the Ducati bike, which is now helping him compete at the front of the pack in almost every race. He's fast, smart, and more patient. That's a dangerous combination for his rivals, he added. With many races remaining and Marquez's performance continuing to improve, Petrucci is confident in predicting that the rider from Cervera has a strong chance of winning the 2025 MotoGP World Championship. If there are no injuries and his bike remains competitive, I think Marc will be a strong contender for the world title this year, Petrucci concluded confidently. And here's the full story. Amid the hustle and bustle of the MotoGP paddock, voices predicting the future of the championship continue to emerge. One of the sharpest insights comes from Danilo Petrucci, a former MotoGP rider and now a key player in the World Superbike (WSBK) series. With his wealth of experience, Petrucci offers a detailed analysis of Marc Marquez's phenomenal performance on the Ducati motorcycle. According to him, Marquez's lightning-fast adaptation and uncompromising racing style are not just a surprise but a strong signal that the rider nicknamed the Baby Alien is the top contender to win the MotoGP World Championship title in the 2025 season. Petrucci, who has tasted victory in MotoGP with Ducati, admits he is deeply impressed by how Marquez has mastered the Bezzecchi GP. The bike, known for its wild character and demanding specific riding style, seems tame in Marquez's hands. He highlighted how Marquez, from the first race of the season, immediately became competitive with the Gresini Racing satellite team, despite only being equipped with a bike from the previous year's specification, GP23. Seeing Marc on the Ducati is something special, and to be honest, a bit intimidating for his rivals, Petrucci said in an exclusive interview. Many riders need months, even a full season, to understand this bike. But Marc, he came in and within a few free practice sessions, he had already found its limits. The way he controls the bike, competing at the front right away, shows just how extraordinary his talent and sensitivity are. He hasn't lost a bit of his champion instinct after those difficult years. Petrucci's comments carry significant weight. As a rider who understands the ins and outs of the Bezzecchi, he sees something different in Marquez's approach. According to him, Marquez's ability to force the bike to follow his extremely aggressive riding style, especially in the braking zones, is the key difference. This is evident in the series of podium finishes and intense battles until the final corner he has shown against factory riders like Francesco Bagnaia and Jorge Martin, who, by the way, are using newer bikes. Predictions for the 2025 season are now more than just speculation. With the official announcement that Marquez will join the Ducati Lenovo factory team, all the pieces of the puzzle seem to have fallen into place. With full technical support, the latest factory-spec Bezzecchi GP bike, and direct access to data and development, Petrucci believes nothing can stop Marquez from returning to the championship throne. If he could already be this explosive with last year's bike and satellite team resources, imagine what he can do with full factory support, Petrucci continued enthusiastically. It's not just about a faster bike. It's about the team of engineers working for him, about updates coming sooner, about strategies designed specifically for him. The competition will be extremely fierce, of course. Pecco and Jorge won't give up. But I place Marc as the top favorite for the 2025 title. The combination of the best rider of his generation with the best bike on the grid is a near-certain formula for becoming world champion. As a result, the 2025 MotoGP stage is expected to be one of the most epic battlegrounds in modern history. Marc Marquez's return to the factory team, no longer as an underdog but as the main predator, is a narrative eagerly anticipated by fans worldwide. A prediction endorsed by many in the paddock and boldly stated by Danilo Petrucci.
Behind the intense competition of this year's MotoGP season, one statement from Marco Bezzecchi has caught everyone's attention. The Aprilia rider bluntly highlighted the striking differences between two Ducati heavyweights, Marc Marquez and Francesco "Pecco" Bagnaia. According to Bezzecchi, despite both riders using bikes with nearly identical specifications, their results on the track are vastly different. Pecco, the defending champion, often appears easier to overtake, even by riders from satellite teams. Meanwhile, Marc Marquez? He's like a steel wall on the track, impenetrable, always knowing when to attack, and more importantly, knowing when to defend fiercely. Bezzecchi explained that it's not just about engine power or bike setup, but about fighting mentality. Marquez has a different fighting instinct. He never gives an inch, isn't afraid of risks, and always forces his opponents out of their rhythm. Meanwhile, Pecco is calmer, more calculated. But that makes him easier to study and anticipate, Bezzecchi said after the intense race at Assen. He also added that Marquez's aggressive and unpredictable riding style makes it difficult for other riders to predict his moves, whereas Pecco is seen as too neat and tends to be defensive in critical situations. This is what makes Marquez a far more challenging opponent on the track, even though technically they are riding the same machine. And here's the full story. Amid the intensifying competition of the 2025 MotoGP season, Aprilia rider Marco Bezzecchi made a surprising statement. In an interview following last weekend's race, Bezzecchi candidly highlighted the striking differences between Ducati's two top riders, Marc Marquez and Francesco Bagnaia. Despite both riders using motorcycles with nearly identical specifications, the Ducati Desmoceticide GP25 with full factory support, their results and riding styles on the track are vastly different. And Bezzecchi knows exactly why. According to Bezzecchi, the biggest difference doesn't lie in the technical aspects of the motorcycle or the setup used, but rather in the mentalities, characters, and racing styles of the two riders. When it comes to data, power, top speed, and acceleration, their bikes are almost identical, said Bezzecchi. But once on the track, the situation changes completely. Marquez is much harder to overtake. Meanwhile, Pecco, for some reason, feels easier to pass, even when he's leading. Bezzecchi continued, explaining that the difference is particularly noticeable during wheel-to-wheel duels. Marquez always races aggressively, with unwavering determination, and possesses an exceptionally strong defensive instinct. He's not just fast, he knows how to manipulate the race rhythm. He can slow down his opponents, block the racing line with precision, even in seemingly unfavorable conditions, Bezzecchi revealed. On the other hand, despite being a two-time world champion and known for his consistency, Pecco is more susceptible to being overtaken under pressure. Bezzecchi described Pecco as a rider who relies more on calmness, strategic calculation, and finesse when controlling the bike. But that's precisely what makes him more predictable on the track. Pecco never panics, that's his strength. But in intense duels, sometimes you need a little madness like Marquez has, he said with a smile. It doesn't stop there. Bezzecchi also revealed that Marquez has another advantage, experience in extreme conditions. Over the years at Honda, Marquez got used to controlling a bike that was hard to tame. Now, riding a Ducati that's much more stable and powerful, his racing skills seem to have leveled up. Now he's like a cold-blooded killer. Back then he raced with whatever he had, now he's got the best weapon, Bezzecchi said. Meanwhile, Pecco, though undeniably a fast and elegant rider, sometimes appears too clean. He doesn't make many aggressive maneuvers, rarely forces the issue, and often maintains his own rhythm. In today's highly competitive races, this approach can be a weakness when facing aggressive and unpredictable riders like Marquez, Martin, or even Bezzecchi himself. Bezzecchi's honest assessment has sparked a major question among the paddock. Has Marc Marquez now become Ducati's #1 rider, not just in terms of results, but in terms of aura, instinct, and the psychological impact he brings to the track? One thing is certain, Bezzecchi concluded, if you see number 93 in front of you, you know it won't be an easy overtake. Even when you're faster, you can still lose. Because he knows how to make you frustrated, lose momentum, and eventually make your own mistakes. Pecco isn't like that. Pecco gives space, Marc takes space. That's the difference. A statement that not only opens the public's eyes but may also signal that a new king has emerged on the same bike at Ducati. And his name is Marc Marquez.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud, it be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and